Knicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. I got my guy DJ Shuttle in the building. You already know.
We all aboard on a Monday. You know the vibe.
Yes, sir. Late night. You know what I mean? I didn't know if we was gonna get it going, but we're here.
Yeah, I mean, you barbecuing where you at? Park Jam, they barbecuing. I'm playing music where I'm at.
Yes, sir.
This is like the summers we love.
I ain't even going front. Your music came in right on time, bro. You know what I mean? I threw your channel on. It was a vibe. It was at the tail end of the barbecue, but it's all good.
Hey, some vibes is better than no vibes. You heard?
That's right. Close it out with
MP3 MP3 Mondays, YVS Radio, DJ Shuttle every Monday playing nothing but the hottest heat, 8 to 9, all genres, all flavors, new, independent, and major label artists as well.
yes, sir. Definitely put me on to a couple of songs that I wasn't aware of, but them joints was hitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that final roster spot still open and available. You seen Bradley Beal sign with the Clippers, right?
Yep.
CP3 with the Clippers.
Somebody got to go there.
Ben Simmons still on the table. I know how you feel about him. Shamit still.
I'm kind of mixed. I'm kind of mixed. I mean, from a talent level, obviously, he brings a lot to the table. But one thing that's happened over the past 3 to 4 years is that this has been a very, I mean, Randall aside, this has been a pretty stable group of players. You know what I'm saying? And even for all of Randall shenanigans, he wasn't really that crazy. You know what I mean? So I just don't know if the head case of Ben Simmons is a fit. Forget about the playability. You know what I mean?
um
I just don't see Leon Rose bringing him in. Forget about what I think. I just don't see Leon Rose adding him to the roster.
all right. This is what I'm gonna say about Ben Simmons. Let's just cut to the chase, right? Because I've been an advocate of him and his fit and why. This is what I'm gonna say moving forward, considering the landscape of the NBA, how players have chosen where they want to be. If Ben Simmons ends up a Knick, it's because he chose to be a Knick. That is encouraging to me. You know what I mean? That takes away some of the mental aspects of it. Some of the, you know what I mean? Like, because number one, I think if he comes to the Knicks, it's because he believes we can win and he can help us win, right? If he comes to the Knicks, it's on a veteran minimum. That means money wasn't the reason he came here. It wasn't financial. It's about basketball. You know what I mean? The biggest concerns with me was always about basketball. Does he want to play? Does he want to be the best he could be? If he ends up here now, under the circumstances, it's not financial. The reason why he came here is it's because he wanted to be here. So that is encouraging to me. That was the only thing that I was worried about, his mindset, right? You know what I mean? Like he played in a big market in Brooklyn. Well, you could argue whether he played or not, but he was in a big market in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like, so he know what that was like. When you talk
Philly's a
about
pretty big market. Philly's a pretty big market also.
even if it's not a big market, the fan base is big market. You know what I mean? Like, so he dealt with the fan base of a big market team in Philly. So he knows all those dynamics. So again, if he decides to choose to come here, that's encouraging to me even more than the basketball aspects. Because everything I said about me wanting him to be here was about basketball, was about his fit, was about our need, ball handling, size for position, multiple position, defensive versatility. He fits all those boxes. Shooting, he does not fit that box. That box. You know what I mean? But he checks 4 out of 5 boxes or 3 out of 4 boxes or however many boxes you want to put out there, he probably checks more boxes than the ones he don't. So that's why I was always a fan of him being here. Again, if he ends up being a Nick moving forward, it's because he chose us over other teams. The reports out there are Sacramento's interested in him. You know what I mean? I think Miami was one of the choices. There's about three teams that was interested in him. So if he chooses us, that's a good sign mentally. Um, but again, give your retorts. I know you wasn't a big fan of him, but that's my dynamic moving forward. Before it was all about skill set and how many boxes he checks, but right now it's about him choosing us over other teams, and it's not financial. You know what I mean?
He's a classic case for me of I would just have to wait and see. I'm absolutely not all against it, but I'm definitely not all in for it. I'm I'm admittedly playing the fence on this. I got to be honest. From a skill set perspective, I mean, like you said, there's too much that he offers and brings to the table, especially if you're not depending on him to be a main guy. He's a guy off the bench. Maybe that helps his psyche in terms of his approach to the game. And like you said, if he chooses the Knicks and he's got a handful of teams he can select from, he's got a great buyout. He's getting paid, so the money this year is not really meaning a whole lot. I mean, I don't know. I just feel a team is so close though that I don't know if the risk reward is the type of value I would want to spend on it.
Let me ask you this: given the dynamic of where he's been in Philly and Brooklyn, in the clip on the Clippers, can you? What do you think the detriment was for him being on the team, or what do you think the negative impact was for him being on the team? Because for me, I think Philly has to be the highest, like, and then Brooklyn, you kind of put it in the middle field, and then the Clippers, it was really no risk for first reward. You know what I mean? Like, um, right now, I don't think it could get any lower. Right now, it can only get better. You know what I'm saying? So, what is your risk versus reward right now for him signing with us?
Well, it's not only him in isolation, it's the value of the position and the need that the Knicks have to fill the position. So when I say risk reward, it's not just only looking at him. It's, well, can we get somebody else that could actually be more dependable, more valuable, and consistently there and ready in plays for the team versus the question mark. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of, you know, like if you told me, listen, he's going to play 60, 65 games, 70 games, and he's going to play 10, 15 minutes off the bench, and he's going to be there this season, then it's a low risk. Then that would be a low risk thing. But I can't really, I can't bank on that. You know what I mean? And the need of a veteran big man and the need of a veteran ball handling point guard to me are greater needs than what he, I'm not saying what he brings, because he kind of brings a little bit of both, but um no, but no. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying?
here's you
He's
you
further down on my list.
you sent me the list of the available free agents. So let's go through them. We're gonna go through them one by one, right? And then we'll
Well,
double
well,
back and see where each guy ranks.
it's a long list. If I could interject, Tony,
Okay,
you already gave one. It sounds like Ben Simmons is your number one. Why don't we give our top three one, one, two, two, three, three?
fair enough. He might not be my number one, but fair enough. Um, let me look at the list right here.
So while you look at the list, I'll give you my number one.
Go ahead.
My number one is Al Horford.
Mm.
Why is Al Horford my number one? He's my number one because I do not trust Mitchell Robinson. I do not trust him. I do not trust his injuries. I can't trust it. And now we're talking about a Twin Towers starting lineup. I don't trust the Twin Towers starting lineup. Don't get me wrong. Hug Porty has got promise, but the only backup big man with any NBA experience is going to be Yabusele. To me, that's not enough. Especially with Towns crying he wants to be power forward. You got to have another big man with some experience. Even if he's not like a heavy rotation guy off the rip, he's maybe, guys get in foul trouble, he comes in. Guys take a game off of here or there, he fills in. Guys have an injury, he fills in. You got to have a veteran big man. And on this Knicks team, it's absolute it's an absolute need. I wouldn't want to put all the pressure on Huck Porty to be the guy. So that's my number one pick.
All right, I'm a retort. I'm gonna retort your number one, and then I'm gonna give my number one. Um, Al Horford probably wasn't on my top three, and I only say that the main reason because I thought he was going to Golden State. That's been the rumors out there from the beginning. They just got to figure out the Kuminga thing and everything else. But the rumors have been that's where he's going. So that's the main reason why he wasn't on my list. But let's just say without putting Horford in the equation, if Mitch is starting and Cat is playing the four, and you got Horford backing up Mitch potentially, and you got Yabusele backing up the 4 and the 5 potentially, you don't think that's enough? Like if that's the decision the Knicks went to?
I
Because for
think
me,
that
I thought that was enough.
I think that Mitch gets injured too much. If Mitch was the backup center and Towns was starting at center and Huck Porty was the third string, then I would feel better about it.
But what I'm the way I'm looking at it is Mitch and Towns starts. If anything happens to Mitch, God forbid, Towns starts. You still got Porty there, and you still got Yabusele to fill in on either role, 4 or 5. So that's why I always thought that was enough. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I always looked at it. So
I can't trust him.
you can't trust Mitch.
Can't trust him.
I'm considering not trusting Mitch in my equation. That's the way I looked at it. If Mitch goes down, Town starts. You know what I mean? Maybe it's Josh Hart, maybe it's Yabusele, whatever. Like we have enough pieces to fill the gaps. Hopefully,
So,
if Mitch goes out, it's short term,
so,
not long term. But you know what I mean? Like,
so if Mitch goes out, let's just say you're not gonna have any choice but to start Hart because if you start Yabusele, now you got no backup power forward. That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about the lack of a big man.
fair enough. Fair enough. Let me give my number one option
Sure.
on free agency. Um, I ain't gonna lie. It might be Ben Simmons.
I mean,
Looking at the
it
list of
sounded like it
available
was Ben
guys,
Simmons the way you was talking.
but I'm gonna say this: Kofi has rised on my list. I haven't even mentioned him in any videos that I've done. You know what I mean? I haven't talked about him. He's risen. I don't know if he's past Ben Simmons because of defined skill set. So yeah, Ben Simmons is probably number one on my list. Like about availability, what he brings to the team, versatility, defensively, um, facilitating, ball handling, and I'm accounting for the things that he doesn't do well. I was I was off and on about him until I looked at his free throw shooting. His free throw shooting is not a detriment to the point where they're gonna foul him intentionally. It might be a detriment mentally for him if he's scared to get fouled and go to the line and be aggressive. But I think I might deal with that aspect and hope that we could get him past that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ben Simmons as my number one. Who's your number two?
My number two is Westbrook. Um, I'm not really. I understand. People got favorite places they want to stay on the West Coast. There's rumors Golden State with other teams and yada yada with these players, but as of right now, everybody's fair game on my list. The reason for Westbrook, even though, pardon me, even though he's not an elite ball handler, shout to Double D. Yo, pause. Um, even though I wouldn't consider Westbrook an elite ball handler and floor general like CP3, who is number 3 on my list, but I like Westbrook as number 2 on my list because to me he's an upgrade over Deuce. He's basically Deuce but better overall. Not a better 3-point shooter percentage wise, but his aggressiveness, his ability to get to the foul line, his tenaciousness, the leadership, and just to kind of like the dog factor that he'll give to needed players like Towns, OG, Bridges. Like he's gonna give a dog factor to those guys, and to me that's a missing component on this team. Say what you want, you know, you gotta have somebody that's the dog on your team. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just think that he would bring that. I think Mike Brown likes to play with pace. I think he comes in and he brings pace on the team. He's not somebody that's, defaulting to other players, if you will. He's gonna go out there and go crazy and get busy, But he's gonna also, I think, respect a guy like Brunson, of course. So yeah, man, Westbrook, that's gonna be my number 2.
Westbrook was high on like last year. He would have been high on my list. Um, Me personally, if he's on the team, I consider him the upgrade to Josh Hart more than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like if Westbrook is on the team and I'm looking at who does he make expendable,
Right.
it might be Josh Hart more than like a Deuce McBride.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like as far as like what he brings to the table, just because Deuce brings defense and shooting. You know what I mean? Like Hart and Deuce. I mean Hart and Westbrook kind of bring the same things, right? Triple double threat. You know what I mean? Like not a great shooter per se, but you know what I mean? Like I probably would consider Westbrook a better facilitator only because he's more aggressive offensively, which allows him to be a better facilitator. Like he demands attention from the defense more than Josh Hart per se. Um, and rebounding, I'll give Josh Hart the edge, but it's close. You know what I mean? Like it's very close. Like even in the rebounding department. So I think those two are more correlated. I don't know if I like them both together on the team more
Right.
so than the like I could deal with Deuce and either one, Deuce and Josh Hart or Deuce and um Westbrook more than Westbrook and Hart per se, especially on the court at the same time. If they're separated, if they're stagnated, then I can see that.
Yeah, they
Um,
definitely have to get some minutes together. And I see someone said isn't Westbrook ancient? He's 36. Turns 37 in November. This past season, he played 27.9 minutes per game. He had about 23 starts or 32 starts. He scored 13.3 points a game, got 4.9 rebounds, 6 assists. He shot 44.9% from the field. And just as a comparable, because you brought up Deuce, Deuce shot 40.6% from the field, not even from three, from the field. And he shot 36.9 from three. So, and he played 24.9 minutes a game, only 3 minutes less per game, and considerably less stats in terms of points, assists, and rebounds.
yeah, the thing with Deuce though is like I'm not
Intangibles.
yeah, exactly like when you look at those analytics and you look at the best lineups that the Knicks put out throughout
Yeah.
the season, he
No, you
was
ain't
in
lying.
4 out of 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like, so it was some type of intangible that he was contributing to that you know what I mean? Like, even if you can't pinpoint what it was, it was there regardless of who he was on the floor with. So like, and from the eye test you could see it. You know what I mean? Like the team played better when Deuce was when Deuce was on the floor, and it didn't matter who you took him out for. You know what I mean? Like it could have been Brunson, it could have been McCall, it could have been whoever. When Deuce was on the floor, the team played better. It's a weird stat, but you can't ignore it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I don't know if I could base what I'm gonna do on it either, though.
that's fair. My number two guy is Kofi, the guy I haven't talked about at all. Um, and I just got around to like looking at his highlights, looking at his contributions. Size has been a big factor in who I'm thinking we should sign moving forward because we are undersized at the guard position. You know what I mean? So if we could add another wing, another guy that has size at the position, I think that helps us more than no knock on Shamit because I like him. Whether he's on my list or not, I do like him, but he's undersized, and we have undersized guys on this team. You know what I mean? So I'd rather not go that route. So the fact that he's a legit 6'6", 6'7", you know what I mean, good wingspan, can shoot the ball, can guard multiple positions. I've overlooked him all off season, but he's number two for me. You know what I mean?
So
But
when is he gonna play?
his you said where?
No, yeah, like who's gonna be not playing that would allow him to play, or is he just a third string guy that's a break glass type of guy?
Well, I think he can play multiple positions, and I always felt like a guy who could play 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? Like that gives you more of a window to play. You know what I mean? Like if McCall gets in foul trouble, that's an opening. You know what I mean? Aside from whatever your regular minutes are, if OG gets in foul trouble, that's an opening. So when you have a guy that could play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, that gives you more of a leeway to squeeze in where under a normal circumstance you wouldn't be able to. So again, that's where size at the position or multiple positions, that's where it fits in for me. Like I'm kind of when you're undersized, it limits where you could play. You know what I mean? It limits your opportunity. It limits your effectiveness to help us because you're not available. You know what I mean? If we need somebody to guard a three, but you're too small to do that, we're not gonna put you in, no matter what your skill set is. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
But assuming the Knicks start the Twin Towers, now you got Deuce, Clarkson, Hart, Yabusele, and Huck Porty off the bench. Uh, this guy's not going to be playing in place of Huck Porty. Um, Clarkson's going to be playing. Yabusele's going to be playing. I mean, unless you're talking about Deuce or Hart being benched or losing minutes, he's not going to play ahead of those guys. So I mean,
I'm
he's
not
legit.
even.
He's
I'm
legit
looking.
third string.
I'm Yeah, but third string for the two position, for the three position, and he might be fourth string at the four position. But still, you know what I mean? Like it gives you more opportunity to play in the long scheme of things. You know what I mean? Like
And
even
that's also going back to your number one. That's what gives Ben
yes,
Simmons
yes, absolutely,
value because
absolutely,
he can come in at power forward, he can come in at small
absolutely.
forward. Just put him in there, play whoever.
Exactly my point.
Just don't shoot.
Yeah, you I mean for Ben Simmons, yeah, just don't shoot. But yeah, it goes back to that point of positionless basketball. You know what I mean? Like when you come in, you're gonna be able to fill a role on the floor, and it gives you more opportunity. So that's why he's my number two. Like if Mikal gets in foul trouble, that's more of an opportunity for you. Even a guy like Clarkson, you're not going to be able to move him to the three. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's stuck at 1-2. So if the two gets in foul trouble, if the three gets foul trouble, that's more opportunity for that guy. For that guy, and even the four in some instance. You know what I mean? Like it's more opportunity for him. So when you can play multiple positions, I think it gives you more opportunity to get on the floor, more opportunity to be effective. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Like that's why, as much as I like Shamit, he's not even in my top three, to be honest.
No, he's not even in my top 10.
There's a lot of guy there's a lot of Knicks fans advocating for Shamit to come back, and I'm not mad at it. I think it makes sense. I think
He's already been replaced. Clarkson is the new Shamit. He's already been replaced. Like
that's the
you got a guy. He's already a guy. So you got a guy already. So you got to just move on. You got to move on from that. Shaman's too far down the list to even talk about because you need a big man, you need a ball handler, and or you need players with wild versatility that are kind of just like wild cards, X factor type guys that could come in, that could like it's like you have at your job, right? Like you got somebody that plays the swing shift. You know what I'm saying? And having a player like a Simmons or a Coffee that could do the swing shift is valuable. Now, I'm gonna jump to my number three, and to me, this is a bit high risk, but could be high reward if healthy. I'm gonna go with Malcolm Brogdon. Only if healthy. Obviously, he has to pass the physical. Um, but man, his offense, his defense, his 3-point shot, his teamwork, his leadership, his pedigree. I mean, I feel like he embodies what the Knicks have been building in terms of attitude, style of play, et cetera, et cetera. So, um, again, Tony, all that stats you gave me was nice about Deuce and the lineups, and I don't want to completely dismiss it, but I'm not all the way convinced either. You know what I mean? I like Deuce. I love Deuce since he first got here. You know, interesting fact I got to share with you. There's an article. I want to say it's Ian Katz. I want to say it's Ian Katz, but if it wasn't, pardon me. They talked about how the first 2 years when Deuce was coming into the games and throwing them the Mason bricks out in the big leagues, but was shooting pretty good in the G League. He was also lights out in practice, in drills, and in team practices. So the team was so confident because they saw how well he was shooting. Shout to
That was reported throughout the years.
shout to
When,
Coach.
like before he got in the rotation, like solidified.
So so yeah, so Deuce, Deuce earned his way, you know what I mean? And shout to Coach Tibbs on that. The guy that doesn't develop young players and doesn't give them a shot. Shout to him for that. Um, but I don't know. It's just why he's earned it, and he brings intangibles. I'm concerned when Brunson comes out of the game that there's not somebody that can handle the ball. It's bad. Actually, it's bad enough when Brunson's in the game that if we saw what Boston was doing, and even to a higher degree what Indiana was doing, denying Brunson the ball. And I think that's going to be something that teams are going to pick up on, and they're going to implement even more during the season. Full court pressing and denying Brunson the ball. Bridges, OG, Mitch. That's why this is another reason why I'm not for Mitch being in the starting lineup, because I need somebody else that can handle the ball, somebody you can give it to that can pass.
Who
You know what I
who?
mean?
So you're advocate for Deuce? Like
Not all right.
who's your guy in replace of Mitch? If Mitch is not starting, is it back to Hart? Like
Maybe Yabusele.
okay, I was trying to. That's what I was trying to get to something we haven't seen, because
Yeah,
that you know what I mean. I've heard that. I've heard that too, and it makes sense to some degree. You got to see it. You know what I mean. You want to see it. There's defensive liability issues between him, Cat, Brunson. You know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. It puts more pressure on Wingstop. You know what I mean. But there is an argument. My argument is Yabusele might be a better defender at the 4 than at the 5, which he was primarily with the 76ers. So it's yet to be determined.
and low key, I wouldn't be mad if Thomas Bryant got signed.
Mm.
He played pretty damn well in that playoff series.
He's your honorable mention.
He's an honorable mention. I really want CP, but you know, CP ain't going to these. He not going to the East Coast.
Yeah, he's a done deal. He's going back to the Clippers. Um, I like Brogdon too. I think he's a viable option. He's probably an honorable mention for me, but because he was your third guy, I'll touch on it in a sense that you're not worried about. He's not worried about how many minutes he plays. It's not like he's played a lot of minutes over the last 5 years, whether it was because of injuries or whatever. When he does play, he's viable. He reminds me. I shouldn't say he reminds me, but Desmond Bain, kind of reminds me of him
Really?
without the injuries.
Mm.
If Brogdon was never, you know what I mean, like if he never was hurt, that's the kind of, I think he would have had that same kind of hype to him that Desmond Bain got. Um, but injury, like that's the only thing that worries me about him. Injury. He might be undersized too, but he's in that like Marcus Smart vein where he might be undersized, but he still defends. Like
He's
whoever
a
he's guarding, he can
he's a six,
defend.
he's a 6'4" point guard shooting guard.
Yes, but could guard to 3, 2, 1. You know what I mean?
If you put him on a three, he's going to do a pretty solid job defending the three, unless it's like Kevin Durant or something.
It's only injuries that really like derailed his trajectory and who he should be in the league. But I mean, I got more like I will ride for Mitchell Robinson more because he's been on the team for all these years and it's personal. you know what I mean, then they're bringing in a guy with the same type of injury history rhetoric. Veteran minimum, I'm not mad at it, but I think I would have went with a couple guys before him. And let me look at the list real quick. My
Well,
number,
it's not going to be campaign.
no,
It's not going to be Alec Burke.
no.
I don't know how they even got him on this. You know, I wish I would have emailed it to you so you could put it on the screen. Yo,
Oh,
I was like, okay, who is not getting selected from this list? Okay, so just for you guys that are checking in, um, you can't see it, but I'll read the names to you that's on here that they're saying these are the top 20 free agents remaining. Grimes, Cam Thomas,
all
Josh,
restricted, right?
right,
Top
Josh
four
Giddey
restricted.
and Kaminga restricted. Then you got Al Horford, Chris Paul, who's now today was signed by the Clippers. You got Malik Beasley, who was on the Detroit Pistons, who I don't think is going to be signing with
Anywhere.
anybody. He's going to be signing with his lawyer. He's going to be signing with a penitentiary somewhere, possibly. You got Brogdon, who we discussed, Westbrook, who we discussed, Melton from the
Just
Nets.
wait. Yep.
You got Precious Achua, former Knick. Thomas Bryant, big man from the Pacers. Boucher, there was been some talk about him from the Raptors. Ben Simmons, who we talked about today. Overlooked, we didn't talk about Peyton II. Lyles, who was on my list as a sleeper, big man. Coffee, who Tony likes. Burks, who we all hate. Cam, who we respect but don't want. And Shamit, who essentially has already been replaced. So we got one, two, three Knicks from this past season. How ironic, right? How ironic? How ironic? I can make this point, please.
Go
And
ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
all the Tibbs haters, please stand up right now. Please, all the Tibbs haters. Play the bench, play the bench, play the bench. And three of the guys that were in your rotation, nobody wants. These are the guys you wanted your coach to play. The guys that nobody wants. Play the bench, play the bench, play the bench, play the bench. The bench players that nobody wants.
And two of them, two like we signed Payne early last year, right in the off season. But Shamit and Achua was all on the waiting list in the off season last year, in the same position they in right now. Now,
Nobody, nobody wanted them.
granted that there's different circumstances between this year and last year, collective bargaining, aprons, and all that. But they in the same position they was in last year, this year.
Other players have been signed. Chris Paul going to season 21. How he getting the job and campaign ain't getting the job. Shaman ain't getting the job. I'm just trying to figure it all out. Y'all want the coach to play the bench players, but
That,
nobody even wants these bench players.
that's for another deep dive episode. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm just saying. I looked at this list and I'm like, wow, look, this the whole free agency list is former Knicks.
Like 15%, 20% of the
You got
list.
Shamit, Payne, and Achua from the most recent season, and you got Alec Burks from the prior season,
And Grimes.
who the coach developed and
Don't
got him
forget
prepared to be
don't
the guy
forget
he is.
Grimes. Don't forget Grimes.
Hey, Grimes out there, he about to get his $25 million. That's what he's trying to get. He
I
might be
mean,
getting he might be on a 1 year
I
deal.
don't know. The market might dry up.
Hey man, listen, yesterday's price is not today's price.
But I'm conflicted with number three. I'm my number three. Uh I'm gonna go with Shamit as number three, and that's
What?
only it's only because of familiarity with the team. You
It's
know
a
what I
new
mean? Like,
coach, but it's a new coach. I heard somebody say that.
but
I heard somebody say that today. He's
it,
familiar with the system.
it,
What system? It's a
no,
new coach.
I didn't say system.
Right.
I'm talking about teammates with the team with the players. You know what I mean? Like that means something more than anything else. Like
I don't think he's thrilled not playing.
I don't know if he's not gonna play if he's on the team. Like
Who,
so I
who,
don't know.
who's going to play? Who's going to not play?
Listen, that's on the new coach. That's on the new coach. We like it's a clean slate. I'm talking about familiarity with the players and around them. That's what I'm talking about.
He's familiar
That,
with the
that
whole league. He's been on like 6 teams in 9 seasons. He's familiar with half
listen,
the whole league.
my honorable mention though was Lyles, who played under Mike Brown, who has familiarity with Mike Brown. And there's been talks about how much Mike Brown loves him as a player. You know what I mean? Like they asked him, "Yo, why you play him so much?" Because he rebounds the ball. You know what I mean? Like, but the fact that he's a guy that Mike Brown has familiarity with, it makes sense. But
I like
again, and he's a big. He gives size that we need. He
six nine.
he can shoot the ball. What we need,
He's six
but
foot nine, only
I don't
29 years old.
I don't know if he's a playmaker. I don't know much about him other than he could shoot the ball, he could rebound the ball, and Mike Brown loves him. So that's why he was an honorable mention. Um, Boucher from the Raptors. It's messed up because I think he's too old to be talking about potential. You know what I mean? Like at his age, the potential should have manifested itself already. But he still plays like he has potential. You know what I mean? So he might be one of those guys that could have a breakout season or two. You know what I mean? And that be the highlight of his career. Still have a long career. He's interesting to me. Who else we got?
Nah, we got Diawara.
I mean, that's about it. And Peyton the third. You kind of gave a tidbit on him earlier, but it goes back to my undersized situation. I might even put him over Sherman at undersized and skill set, and you know what I mean, like what he does at a elite level. I might put him over Sherman. Sherman got the edge because he's been with the teammates like him, but I like what Peyton brings for but he's in that same situation, Josh Hart. Like shoot the I mean, he's gonna give you defense, he's gonna rebound, he's gonna be a hustle guy. I don't know how many of those guys you need on one team.
Exactly.
At some point, some of the guys got to be definitive skill set.
15 minutes a game, 57% from the field, 32.6 from three, 71 from the line, 6.5 points, 3 boards, 1.3 assists, zero point 0.8 steals. Um, that's last season.
Is there somebody on this list that you would be disappointed that we got?
Yes, all the former Knicks.
Mm, mm.
I don't want any of the former Knicks on this team. It's not a fit. It's not a fit at all. I'd rather at this point, I'd rather you sign McCullough before you bring Shaman to the team.
Mm.
I'd rather you give McCullough that slot and use the instead of putting him on a two-way, put some of them other guys on two on a, some one other promising young players on the two-way and just give McCullough the slot.
So him and the vet, like he would get the vet minimum, well, not necessarily, but you saying two rookie contracts. Him and either Doorway or Muhammad.
Yeah, I think Muhammad and Diawara are the same guy.
My bad. Muhammad and
And
the other
McCullough,
guy. No, the other rookie.
not you're not talking about Dink.
Mm-mm. One we got from the town trade and one we drafted.
Oh, James Najee.
Najee, Najee in the town trade.
Yeah,
So you saying McCullough and Muhammad? You rather have those two than
I'd rather have McCullough over Shamit. So if there's one like big league slot, and it has to go to a vet like a vet minimum slot, and there's players that you really want and you can't get, and now you're thinking about giving it to Shamit, just
I
give it to McCullough.
I agree with you on that. But that goes back to my size, size, and you know what I mean. Like he's taller than him. Probably has a maybe not a more definitive skill set, but a more range of skill sets. You know what I mean? Like I agree with you on that. I feel bad because it's not like I don't like Shamit, and it's not like I could be like, yo, he had the full opportunity last year because I don't think he did either.
He got hurt.
But he that's what I was just gonna say. He was behind the ball from the beginning when he got hurt. You know what I mean? Like everything was an uphill battle from there. So
And that's why
you had to overshine to you know what I mean to fit in a position to be brought back. And you didn't do that. That might not have been your fault. But
it ain't the coach's fault.
and like you said, you've been replaced with a guy who has a definitive skill set. He gonna get a bucket, regardless whether he shoot well or not. He gonna get buckets. You know what I mean? Like he gonna get to the line. He create his own shot. He might not even be as good a defender as you. You know what I mean? But he's better at collectively all around.
And what I'm going to be curious to see is how much will he be able to initiate the offense, bring the ball up, and kind of let Deuce play off the ball, minimizing the lack of ball handling that you get from Deuce. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. You know what I mean? If Clarkson is kind of playing some one ish, two ish, you know what I mean? Combo guard, then that helps to nullify Deuce's, dare I say, lack of ball handling as a point guard to initiate offense and kind of floor general the team, so to speak. You know what I mean, Sim?
I feel you. I don't know what the question was, but I feel you.
Well, it wasn't really a question, but we were talking about uh Clarkson essentially having replaced Shamit,
Mhm.
and then I was just adding on that if Clarkson is actually able to help facilitate some offense a little bit and play like a scoring point guard, like a scoring point guard role, where he's initiating the offense, initiating his own offense, because Deuce is proving that's not really his forte, so to speak. He's better off the ball. That kind of may nullify some of my concerns and my worries. Is that, but my feeling is that ball handling is something that should be a premium. That is, what the team's looking at right now to get with this last roster spot.
Yeah. Ah.
He's not convinced.
I mean, I don't know if he understood the question. The
Yeah, I don't know.
basically we talking about the last roster spot. Last
The
roster spot.
last spot.
Ben Simmons still out there. I know
Yeah.
how you feel about him.
That's a guy.
Shamit, who's been a part of the team.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? We went through the whole list of guys available pretty much. You know what I mean? But what Shuttle's saying is he Shamit is low on his totem pole as is mine. You know what I mean? Like even though he's been on the team and he has that camaraderie and familiarity, he's pretty much there's guys above him on the totem pole of who we would want with the last roster spot.
Right. Yeah. And I agree. Shamit, to me, is probably going to be there. To me, like I think he's going to be there. I think you got to see what else is there first.
You saying be there like available?
Available. He's going to be available. Like if I sign him right now, he's going to be available, in my opinion.
He's gonna be. He might be available in 2 or 3 months. And when somebody gets hurt, you can pick him up in 2 or 3 months.
True.
It's messed up because he was available last year. But the difference was the Knicks held that available spot for him until he, you know what I mean, was officially available.
Right.
Can I? I'm gonna redo my rant just for you, Sim.
Okay.
As we talk about Shamit, and as we talk about the remaining free agent players, I just sent you a text. Did you get that? Sim, are you frozen?
Oh, I think he froze up.
Yo, that's wild.
Hey, it's you know what I mean. That's what happens when you on the road. You back, Sim? There you go.
Yeah. My bad. The hotel internet, ain't that good.
Now you got to pay that $5.99.
Yeah, and I'm just using my hotspot now.
Oh, I heard you. So I'm not sure where we got clipped, but I was saying I gotta maybe redo my rant just for you. Not sure if you saw the text I sent you just a moment ago.
I saw it.
Okay, so the irony of the this list that's going around with the quote unquote top remaining free agents has 3 former Knicks from the past season on it. All these players that are getting signed in free agency, and all the people that wanted Tibbs to play, all the bench players, and 3 of these bench players that actually did get minutes are on this list, and nobody wants them. I don't want them either. I don't want any of them.
Campaign, Shamit. Who's the third guy?
Precious Achua.
Precious Achua.
And Burks from the year before. We don't want him either. No, Sim. We don't want him either.
I don't know about Burks, yo. I don't know about Burks, man.
So here's my question, Sim. You got one spot to give to a veteran. Before you even get into the particulars of the player, what is the greatest need that the Knicks have that you would be trying to fill, regardless of the person?
Facilitator. That's what I'm looking for.
And that's why when you came in, that's exactly what I was saying. Could Clarkson be a pseudo facilitator or do enough initiating of his own offense that what you don't get from Deuce in that regard, he makes up for?
I don't know if he has it in his DNA. That's what I don't know. I don't know if he has that in his DNA.
He's better than Deuce, though.
I think
better suited. Like he would be the next best suited guy
because he can create. Right, he can create, so that naturally starts to open up things. I don't know. When the stakes is high, I feel like stress levels are high. You resort to what you do easiest. You know what I mean? I mean, I would like to have someone who just is naturally that type of player, because we don't have that guy who's just naturally. My brain is tuned.
No. Sim, I think what Shuttle is saying, he's not saying we don't need a facilitator. He's saying if things are currently as constructed,
Mm-hmm.
we would be leaning on. We would
Well,
be leaning on.
yeah, we'd be leaning on him, right?
I
Really
am
constructive.
I wrong? Shut up. But you know what I mean? Like I don't want to speak for you.
Well, I'm just saying if the team doesn't acquire a facilitator, it's going to be interesting to see how he's able to, fulfill that role, which is why for me, even though I know there's a risk and a reward with this guy with injuries, which is why Brogdon is kind of high on my list because he's proven that he can run a playoff contending team like the Boston Celtics, and he plays solid defense, solid 3-point shooter, and could actually even play alongside Brunson if you wanted and needed him to. So yeah, that's why he's high on my list too.
He's in that Marcus Smart vein. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I probably would have put him above Marcus Smart in the grand scheme of things if we weren't talking about injuries. You know what I mean? Like, but
Well, injuries is why he's available.
yeah,
So
that's true.
the thing I would ask about Brogdon though is with the amount of minutes that he would be playing with the Knicks, would we be that afraid of injuries?
And that's my point. I'm not dependent on you to come in and bang out minutes and get so tired and get hurt and break down because you're going to be really break glass in case of emergency, kind of sort of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or if Deuce is, shooting 30 something percent from three, in the low 30s, and he got to sit down, then you put him in. But yeah, to your point, Sim, that's why I'm a little less stressed. And I think Tony even mentions like, yeah, well, since we're not going to really depend and rely on him so much, the team was kind of set, even if he doesn't play. Sort of like Shamit last year is like, well, we holding the slot for you, but if you come back, great. If you don't, you don't. It's cool. But I really want a big man, Sim. Horford is my first pick from the free agency draft. I don't.
So we gave our takes. Who's your top three available free agents? I'm gonna read you the. Actually, Sheldon, you got the list available?
I
Like
send
the
it to
whole
him.
list?
Yeah,
All
he
right.
sent it to me. I'm looking at it
Who's
right
who's your top three off
on
the
this list.
list? And
On
then
this,
and then we're gonna get out of here because we gave our top three.
okay. Um, Ben Simmons is my top guy on this list. I feel like he fits what the Knicks need. You talk about needing a big man. He can rebound the ball. He's 6'10", so he can play a little in the post. He can pass from the post. He can handle the ball. He can
Push
play
pace.
from the mid post. He can push the pace. So I think he adds a lot of what the Knicks need. Now, of course, there's going to be questions about motivation and all of those things, right? Those
Sim,
questions will be there, but
real quick
yeah.
for me because he was my number one too. But right
Mhm.
now, as the things are currently constructed with guys picking their teams and him
Mhm.
having multiple shooters, I
Mhm.
think motivation goes out the window now. Because if he chooses us, it's not because of money. You know what I mean? Like it's only because of winning. You know what I mean? It's only because of basketball reasons.
Right.
There's no outside factors that contribute. But my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I get that. I guess my question with motivation is just basketball wise, is he motivated to be a basketball player? You know what I mean? Motivated to be great. Not that he's going to become great, but just no matter what level you are, you would think as a player you're motivated to be great. I'm thinking of the like Cam Reddish type of, you know what I mean? I don't know if Cam Reddish was always motivated to
But
be.
he already played in Philly. He already played in Philly and Brooklyn. like like in my brain, there's no way he would come here
That's true.
if
That's
he
true.
was if he
Well,
wasn't motivated.
yeah, I hear
You know what I
that.
mean? Like that's the way I'm looking at it.
Because he knows what it's like. He knows what it is. So okay, I could. Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right about that. Um, so he would be my number one on the list because I just think he checks a lot of boxes for us. Next on his list would be Chris Paul.
He just signed with the Clippers today.
Yeah, he
Oh, he signed with the Clippers. I didn't even see that. I've been out the loop. Okay,
him,
signed with the Clippers today. I figured he was going to be signing with the Clippers anyway, but okay, so you take that off the table. Who else is left on this list? Everybody?
Yep.
Wow. Who else would I look at on this list? Hmm.
are you gonna name a former Knick?
Nah. No, he isn't.
Uh,
He isn't.
I wouldn't mind. I know he doesn't actually fit that, but if I can't get that, well, maybe Malcolm Brogdon then, right? If I can't get Chris Paul, Malcolm Brogdon, and if I can't get Brogdon, looking at the list now, maybe then is when I say, okay, well then let's let's just find a role, a guy that's just like this specific role. I guess Ben and Brogdon, all that. I might go with another defender, maybe Gary Payton II. That's another defender.
He was a sleeper on my list. My only I've been targeting guys that don't hinder us in the size category because
Right.
I think we have enough guys who are undersized at their positions, whether they're good defenders, plus defenders, or multiple position defenders. I just thought if we could get size, but he was a sleeper on my list
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
if I took Al Horford, it would be a lot for his leadership, having that championship experience. You know what I mean? Just that leadership that the Knicks needed in the locker room.
Mentorship to Cat.
Mentorship, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wouldn't mind having Al Horford because of those things. So maybe he'd be third on my list. You know, he might be third. So
Horford was first on my list.
okay.
I don't trust Mitch's injuries history. I think would be great for the leadership, like you mentioned. Great for the defensive education for Mitch. And I also just think that if all the talk is true, the Knicks are going to go Twin Towers.
Mm-hmm.
Yabusele and Huck Porty as the only two bigs is just not convincing enough for me. And even if Mitch is healthy, I'm still not fully convinced there. And I'd like to have another big man, you know, playing in the Herb Williams kind of role. Horford would be the new Herb Williams in this regard. And I had Westbrook second. I think Westbrook provides a dog mentality and an intensity that matches Mike Brown and that the rest of this lineup could use. Guys like Towns, guys like OG, guys like Bridges, they could stand to have somebody with some intensity around them to crank up their intensity levels. And Westbrook plays with pace great. And if you need him for under 20 minutes a game, I think he would be good in that kind of role. And and I had Brogdon third.
Who'd I have? I had Ben Simmons first. Then I had who I
Coffee.
have? Kofi second. You know what I mean? Just because of size and switchability defensively, 3-point shooting, defined skill sets. And then I was kind of torn between Mike Brown's guy,
Lyles.
You know what I mean? Who he's definitively played throughout the years, and people have questioned it, and he said, "Yo, he rebounds the ball." You know what I mean? Like, so he has his reasoning behind playing him. So familiarity. Um, I mean those are my top three. You know what I mean? I like Brogdon as well because I think he could play, he could not play, he could. You know what I mean? Like he's familiar with that role, whether it's because of availability or not. You know what I mean? But if he's healthy, he could definitely help the team. I'm not mad at Westbrook either. I thought he was already like bound to the
Yeah.
team, but it seemed like that wasn't
My only
somebody
thing
changed
about
their mind.
Westbrook, my only thing about Westbrook is because he also can facilitate.
He
He
can do
brings,
everything.
you
Triple
know,
double threat.
yeah, triple double threat. You know what I mean? I guess I just wonder if him and Clarkson are like the same player, kind of.
I
Um,
look
and how much are the, like, is it gonna look crazy with them two out there on the floor? Just, I don't know.
Sim. I said him and West. I mean him and Hart. I think those two. You know what I mean? Like together. How does that look more
I
than
mean, all
Clarkson?
three of them would be together.
Theoretically, you know what I mean? If Mitch is not starting,
Yeah,
so
that might be
so,
crazy.
so
Right. All three of them could be together on the floor off the bench. That
yeah, that so he is like at that point. If you bring in Westbrook in, I think Hart kind of becomes expendable because I think he's Hart on steroids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's gonna give you everything Hart gives you,
yeah.
probably to a higher extent.
But you know what the crazy thing would be though? Let's say that Hart came off the bench with Westbrook, Brook, and with Clarkson. I don't know what happens to Deuce then, but
He's expendable.
yeah.
This
But
is this is what I'm saying.
that
He
line,
might he might be the best shooter out of the three of them though.
yeah, he would be the best shooter.
Efficiently,
Efficiency,
efficiency.
yeah. But that lineup, like, while it could be crazy, if you found a way to tame it, could really, really give you an attack that
The untamability, the untamability and the out of control is what makes it actually
it could
something
be.
to be like, yo, that could be kind of lit.
Yeah, because like they, if you could find a way to just house it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That could be a vicious attack though.
Yo,
I mean, that could seriously be a vicious attack. You know what I mean? It might drive you crazy a little bit, but
right.
you
No,
know,
no, no. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
I had a coach
It'd
that
be
was
play
famous
after,
for that.
play after play. You be like, what the hell are they doing? And then they come right back around and one of them make a crazy good play. You know what I mean? Like he was
I
like,
mean, I'll tell you what. At that point, I rather Clarkson taking all the shots because I know Westbrook could get rebounds and I know Hart could get rebounds. So yeah,
yeah.
Clarkson, you go
Tell you what,
crazy.
I tell you what, and I
These
know he
guys
ain't
will
here,
catch the
but
ball.
that lineup would have drove Thibodeau crazy. He wouldn't know what the hell would do with that lineup. He would have been bugging.
Oh man.
Mike Brown's a little cooler.
Yeah.
But Tibbs he would have lost it with that lineup.
But it's just interesting times, you know what I mean? We got a couple more roster decisions to make. Couple of decisions on extensions. I don't know if we could touch on that real quick. You know, Mikal Bridges extension eligible. Mitchell Robinson extension eligible. Here's what I'll say, and then I'll give you guys the floor, and we'll get out of here. If either one of them are taking less than the max, and not a max extension, but the max of what the Knicks can offer them, I think the Knicks, by all means, should go ahead and do that. And then deal with the ramifications moving forward. You know what I mean? Like trade them if you're going to trade them when they're eligible to be traded. I don't think you should risk losing either one of them. Mitchell Robinson, I've loved him when he was unavailable, but where he showed in the playoffs to me was undeniable. And I don't know if we advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals without him in both series. You know what I mean? And this is in minimal minutes. You know what I mean? Like his effectiveness when he's on the floor was undeniable in the playoffs. I can't talk to the regular season because we only played about 20 games in the regular seasons. But in the playoffs, his effectiveness was undeniable. Bridges is kind of twofold. It's like he showed his value in moments throughout the season and in moments throughout the playoffs, but it wasn't a consistent thing. But when you gave up what you gave up for him, and now he's in a position to be a free agent if you don't extend him and you lose him for nothing, I think you put yourself in a position where you got to re-sign him. Hopefully, it's at a mutual beneficial deal. You know what I mean? Like he has the leverage, but at the same time, if you give him an offer and he don't take it, we know what the Knicks have done. They traded Randall when he was extension eligible. They traded Grimes. They traded Obi. Like they traded everybody that they didn't extend. They didn't go to the offseason with that negotiation up in the air. So I don't know. Floor you guys.
That's how winning teams manage their business. You buy low and you sell high. For the Knicks to have kept Randall, you would have been paying him max, super max, and nobody else is paying him that money. You would have been betting against. You would have been bidding against yourself. And what would you have been able to do? Nothing but pay him. So this is why you trade guys quickly. We ain't gonna be able to re-sign you. You got to go. We're gonna get OG in here, somebody that can actually start. You can't start. How are we gonna pay you $25 million to come off the bench? Like that wasn't gonna work. So I gotta say kudos to the management for making the right moves. And the yada yada is that the team is still thinking about trying to get Giannis. And this Mikal contract could be the contract that allows this to happen. So whether it's re-signing him to put him at a number that's going to allow it to happen, or if it's waiting and doing a sign and trade so it allows it to happen. Either way, I know the Knicks, if the talk is what it is, the yada yada is going to be that they're trying to make that potential move. Your boy played well in the playoffs. I give you that, Tony Crow, but he is not getting a contract until he plays this season out. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you. You talk about Mitch, right?
You can't.
Wait, I got one question though. Is Mitch's trade value at the highest it's ever been right now?
I would trade Mitch.
Or is it?
I would trade him while their value's high.
Okay.
That's what I would do. Trade him while the value's up. They should have been traded him already before people forget how good he was.
I mean, if they traded him before, his value wasn't at the same length that it is right now. You agree with that?
When
right?
I say before,
currently it's highest it's ever been.
Hear me out. When I say earlier, I'm talking about from the end of the playoffs through to now. Like you should have been traded him in the past couple of weeks already if you was gonna do it, because the longer you wait, the more people are gonna forget how good he was in the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying trade him prior to the playoffs. The playoffs is what made his value high. So now that the value's up, Hurry up, get rid of him before people forget.
I'm not agreeing with you, but I agree that his value is at the highest it's ever been.
You're agreeing with me.
But his value is not just to the other teams; it's to the Knicks as well.
Right.
That's where my mindset is.
Yeah.
But you're right. We're both right. Two things can be true at once. Oh, any last words, fellas? I'm gonna get out of here. Sim, we doing the stoop or what?
I got to get set up and everything. I don't know. Maybe we could talk afterwards. Maybe I have to
We'll
do it
figure it out.
tomorrow because I
We'll
got some
figure
work
it
I
out.
got to do for the morning. But yeah, let's figure it out.
You heard the Raekwon album yet?
Yeah, I did. I love it.
I played some joints on my mix show earlier today, 8:00.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
So it's the
I was
clip.
gonna I was gonna tell you Shuttle, like you had some. I was surprised that you had the super current joints on the mix, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I should have known better.
Yes, you should have, sir. MP3 Mondays, every Monday night, YMVS Radio, DJ Shuttle playing nothing but new records, where you can get boom bap, R&B, and ratchet all in one show. You heard?
Yep, I heard the sexy red. she was definitely rocking out there.
Exactly. Hey, everything's a go. You're gonna get Benny the Butcher, Drake, Sexy Red, new Raekwon and Nas. You're gonna get all of that all in one show, and independent artists too that you need to be familiar with.
No doubt.
That's dope.
I'm gonna have to introduce a female to the stoop, Sim.
Word?
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna introduce a female to the stoop. She gets busy.
Okay.
Yep.
Word up.
Remember where you heard it first. No doubt, man. Shuttle, appreciate you. Sim, always appreciate you. We chop it up in a few minutes, figure out what's going on.
Kids
To the chat.
coming. Yeah, that's coming. That's gonna be fire. They saying it's already like shaping up to be something classic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Nas is doing something incredible, man. This Mass Appeal, this this like what is it, like the Golden 7 or
like
I call it the legacy label now. You know what I mean?
Ghostface coming out. Big L is gonna be dropping an album. Well, you know, a posthumous album. You know what I mean?
Sure.
On Mass Appeal. There's someone else.
Mobb Deep.
Yeah, Mobb Deep.
You know what I mean? Nas and Primo. You know what I mean?
I can't wait for the Mobb Deep album. That's gonna be like. That's gonna be. And Nas is gonna be all over it too. But that's gonna be a crazy album.
For sure.
Okay. So we got
De La Soul.
So just to review, we got Nas and Premier, Ghostface, Raekwon, Mobb Deep, De La Soul, Big L, and then they say a surprise artist.
Slick Rick. I think that was Slick Rick.
Yeah, Slick Rick's already. I see that came out already.
Yeah, that came out.
So shout out to Nas, man, doing this thing, yo. Whenever we get this stoop on, yo, check out the front stoop, man. Nas, Jim Jones, there's a lot of shirts to talk about. I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about. We gonna go crazy.
Jim Jones said he's surprised that this many people love Nas. Y'all,
like, where you been?
What? What?
They be in their own world, man. They be drinking their own Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, people got Nas as the greatest of all time, bro. So like where you been? But hey,
it's bugging.
But yeah, man. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Replay gang. Till next time, yo, Black is time. We out of here.